welcome back to the Fishing with the Boys podcast. I'm Felix Shaw, and today I'm with my co-host Joseph Flynn. Joe.
Hello, yes, I'm Joe. I'm Joe Flynn on Letterboxd. Follow me on there, obviously. Welcome to Fishing with the Boys podcast.
The second instalment.
How's your week been, Felix?
My week's been pretty good. Earlier today, I watched the Shaun the Sheep movie, which is a great movie. Nearly made me cry twice, but whatever. How's your week?
Good. Earlier today, I started watching Ted, then I stopped it because it got very boring very quickly. And the girlfriend from Ted just sounds like Meg, and I can't take her seriously as an actress. And Ted just sounds like Peter Griffin, so it just isn't funny. The soundtrack just sounds like the Family Guy soundtrack.
Today we're talking about B.A.B.Y. Baby
Driver, directed by
Baby Driver.
Edgar Wright.
Indeed. Okay, so the plot is there's a kid called Baby, and he's a getaway driver for Mr. Kevin Spacey, and he's basically he's a good kid, but he's stuck.
He's a devil behind the wheel.
He's not slow, and he's a devil behind the wheel.
Yeah. And he's got what's the disease called in his ears because of the accident?
Or Kevin Spacey says it tinnitus.
It's tinnitus, yeah, tinnitus.
I think in England it's tinnitus. I don't know.
Yeah, the editing's crazy. Obviously, it's a bit like a musical. I'd say the way like the movements are to do with, and the theme is that Baby always listens to music in every scene. So he's always got his headphones in with his classic iPod.
Yeah. Anyway, then he meets this girl played by Lily James, and
Lily James is going to be in Yesterday, which is coming out later this month. I'm pretty hyped for that.
Pretty hype. She was in what else is she in? Oh, she was in Mamma Mia, and that's what she was. Mamma Mia 2.
Yeah.
Joe, what are your thoughts on Baby Driver?
On my notes, I only have two things because I'm so lazy, and they're both to do with how there's just an overuse of lens flares. It's not constant. There's not a constant overuse, but I'd say in the scene where there's a shootout against like they're sent to get guns, and he thinks that the Atlanta Police Department are like snaking on them, whatever. So they have a shootout. And there's just like an overuse of lens flares, and it looks really weird. And also on the ending final fight scene against Buddy, who's like I'd say like just one of the other robbers who works for Kevin Spacey's character, and there just seems to be an overuse of lens flares. It's just, and also the final fight scene it feels a bit dark, so I can't really see it a lot. And there's also the heavy metal, which maybe it's stylistic choice, but it's a bit annoying for me.
Yeah.
Like apparently the playlist for the film was made before they actually started writing the film.
Yeah, he secured the rights to the songs before they even started filming. I'm a massive fan of Edgar Wright from his Cornetto trilogy. Scott Pilgrim vs. World. He also he's written loads of stuff as well. He wrote Ant-Man because he's supposed to direct Ant-Man, but that never happened.
I bet he would have done a banging Ant-Man film if he directed it.
What else is there to say? I also like the way that, because in some films the music's edited to go in time with the picture, but in this way the picture's edited to go in time with the music, which I like.
I feel like the love story between that Baby and Deborah, it went too fast. But I guess like there's not much they could do about it because it was only like an hour and a half film, and they had to fit all that kind of development. But they had a good chemistry, which is good. So
I also think there's the scene where he's walking to the beginning. At the beginning, he's getting a coffee.
Oh hell yeah, yeah! That's a really good scene.
But he's lip syncing to the Harlem Shuffle. The graffiti in the background, which says all the lyrics, that's all CGI because they didn't have the rights to spray paint on all the buildings, obviously. So they had to make it in CGI, and you wouldn't be able to tell that it was CGI at all if I wasn't told.
Yeah, the best CGI in films is CGI you can't notice. Like if you look at Social Network, it's like a lot of the CGI is noticeable, like the CGI snow and the like I guess like the CGI twins kind of looks pretty good, but apart from that, it was very
Although if you in the Social Network, if you look at, because there's obviously the actor who plays both of them, but if you look at the person who's supposed to be turning
Army
his brother.
Hammer.
They don't. He doesn't look the same. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, if you see like half of his face, it's obviously not him. But yeah, whatever.
yeah, good performances all around. So especially Azel Elgar's baby, because um, yeah, it was quite subtle as acting, but it was really good. Um,
Yeah,
as
that's true.
uh, Joe, his his roommate, not his
Carer.
roommate, it's his foster dad.
Yeah, he's his foster dad, but in the end,
Yeah,
he ends up caring for him instead of.
that was a really good scene. Yeah, it almost made me cry. But I know I don't show emotions, so I did not
No,
cry. I almost cried, but
I'm a cyborg. I don't have emotions.
the
I am
only
a
time I cried
cyborg.
was watching the best film of all time, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. But that's a different
Oh,
story for a
Joe.
different day. All right, let's start with the opening scene. So they say like the opening should be like an anthology to the rest of the film. It technically is. Like it obviously is connected, but it doesn't like really change the plot a lot. Like they could have not had the
Yeah,
opening scene and the plot would have been the same. But it kind of
true. But
it's just
it
like a
like puts
highlight
you in
reel
that.
of Edgar Wright just showing off how good Baby is and how good the editing
Yeah,
is.
but that's true. Um, in Shaun of the Dead, in one of the beginning scenes where Liz, they're in the pub, and they pretty much foreshadow the whole film within the space of like 30 seconds. And there are a lot of things. There are a lot of what's it called? Situations where they're foreshadowing in Baby Driver as well, which I think is cool. Because you don't notice it on the first time, but then like when you watch back and you're like, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I watched Baby Driver twice. Once with you, Alfie, and Dan on our movie night, and the other recently. And I say watching with headphones definitely was better because you could hear the music and like how it's edited and stuff. And it's a lot better than doing it with friends because it was just Alfie telling us about the foreshadowing.
Oh yeah.
But
I think also one of the thing if I think in some of the scenes where Baby only has one ear in, then if you're wearing headphones or you have like a surround sound speaker, the music only comes out of one ear or one side of the speakers, which I think is pretty cool.
yeah, oh that was a good scene. Wasn't there just one scene? No, there was the start scene when he was ordering coffee and he said B-A-B-Y baby, and there was a scene
Yeah.
when he wanted to get Deborah, so he had to call. That was a good scene because like zoomed in on his face. But that's I mean, some people listening at home might have not seen this movie. So it starts with Baby um being an escape driver for this like group of robbers. And like Kevin Spacey's character called Doc. It's kind of
Oh, but can I just say my fun fact is in prison right at the end. Spoiler alert: he goes to prison, but most people have seen the film. But anyway, he on the back of the prisoner's uniform it says Doc, and people were speculating that's where he got his name from. But carry on, Joe.
hell yeah. Um, and then they rob a bank and Baby gets away free because he like diverts the police and stuff. It's a really good scene, or sequence even the way. And then he gets people coffee after as like a celebratory. Um, and then he sees Deborah walk past when he goes to the coffee shop, and then because on the way to the coffee shop everything's great and he's all happy, and then on the way back he's like all shaken up and stuff. Um, and then Kevin Spacey is like, oh yeah, he's a good kid and a devil behind the wheel. And then it cuts back to his apartment and he's making all these edits of his recorded conversations. Um, and Felix, you made you talk about your remix of Baby Driver of
I
is he slow? Was he slow even?
A week after we watched the film, I recorded Joe, and Joe said, "Is he slow?" I might play it at the end of the podcast, maybe. So then, you get introduced to all the characters at the beginning, which so at the beginning there's a couple
It's
characters,
Buddy,
and
which is John Hamm's character. We have Darling, which is Elisa Gonzalez's character. Um, and we also have a Griff called John Berthnell,
yeah,
and they all go in the elevator, and Griff just says gets off at the first floor, and he says, if you don't see me, if you don't see me again, I'm probably dead. And then he leaves, and we don't see him again for the rest of the film, which is a good ass. My cat
Yeah,
is
I'm
trying
pretty
to
sure I
break
watched an
it.
interview with Edgar Wright, and he said that in the script it does actually say in brackets he was never seen again. Line it said, so yeah, and then you get introduced to Joe, who's his foster, who's
Yeah,
deaf, but he likes to listen to the music through the vibrations of the speaker. So
and of course, Baby
yeah,
knows full sign language because Baby's a cool man, cool guy,
yeah.
and his real
Then
name is I can't remember his real name.
Miles, because like
Miles.
cars, Miles and
Oh,
stuff.
that's freaking
Um,
hilarious.
then he goes to the diner, doesn't he? And where he meets
Yeah,
Deborah, who's singing a song about baby, and then he
yeah.
records her.
Oh, and
A bit with
before then, we get like Baby's backstory when the reason why
Baby.
he's so good at driving cars is because he's been driving cars forever, and he's the reason why he has to drive for Kevin Spacey's character Doc is because he like stole his Mercedes or something and he drove really well in it, so he has to pay him off by being his driver.
Mhm. Um, yeah, and then he says, and then Doc's like, one more deal and we're, he says like, one more deal and we're through or something, or
And the
we're
entire
clean.
time, yeah, we're clean. And then the entire time, Joe says, is like sign language, tells Baby to like stop doing it badly. Stop. I mean, stop being in crime and stuff. And Baby
Yeah,
doesn't want to either. He's a good kid, devil behind the wheel as
Devil
well.
behind the wheel. Yeah.
Yeah. So he
Um,
goes to the barber shop. I mean, not the barber shop. He
the
goes to
diner,
the diner. Hell yeah, where Deborah works.
and then they have a special connection. And then he's like, oh, I have so many iPods for all these special occasions and whatnot. Um, and then you saw the movie more recently than me, so I'm trying to get
Yeah,
this off memory. The last time I watched it was quite a while ago, so yeah.
yeah. You've watched it a couple times.
I've watched it. I watched it once by myself, once with my family, with my family again at Christmas, and then once with you guys.
Yeah. So then he's called back to drive for Kevin Spacey again, and he's given like a new team with um with Lanny June's character called JD. He puts the the Asian in Home Invasion. Uh,
The other
and it's
guys
also
played
with
by like
other crooks. Hell yeah. Yeah, they go on another heist, and Baby's basically I can't remember which character it was. Oh, it was Jamie Foxx's character Bats. He like shoots a guy, and Jamie sees. I mean, not Jamie. Bats
baby.
shoots a guy, and Baby sees like blood, and he gets all freaked out, and
He's like, whoa!
he like stops Jamie from like completely murdering a guy. Um, and it
Yeah,
kind of messes it up, and they go on like a chase. And like as they do more and more heists, Baby messes up more and more. I guess I don't know why. I'm sure Edgar Wright has a good reason.
because he's a good kid and he tries to stop everyone from being a murderer and
Yeah,
what people are doing and stuff. Um, then what's his name?
they just
The
they get away just about free, but then
JD
Lanny June's
leaves his
character
shotgun
gets
behind and then
he gets killed. Um, yeah, and Baby barely speaks in the film. He only speaks a lot when he's around Deborah, which is cute.
yeah. Um,
Um,
then Deborah and Baby go on a date. I see, but then Kevin Spacey's like, "Wait, you didn't think we were over?"
yeah,
Um,
because he tells Joe that the he was done with it, and him and Kevin were clean or whatever. That he's paid off his debts that he owes Kevin, so he's not gonna drive for them anymore. And then he gets a job as a pizza driver. He's really good at it, obviously, and he gets like a decent amount
yeah,
of tips from it. And Joe's like proud of him. Joe's very happy. He's got a nice smile on his face.
Then yeah, and then
Yeah,
he
they go on a
says,
date to a fancy restaurant, and they go on a date to a fancy restaurant, and Kevin Spacey pays for the meal, and he tells Baby that that Baby's his lucky charm, and he wants him to be do another heist with him, and if Baby says no, he'll do the classic mob gangster thing.
"What? I'll break your legs and the whole of your family."
Oh, I here to amuse you.
I'm funny how.
Funny how.
Yeah. Then they have to do one more job at the post office, and then the post office job is where it all kicks off with the third act, I guess.
Yeah. So the day before, he's forced to go in with Doc's nephew, Sam, who's really funny. And he goes into the post office, and he's like, he has to count all the security and stuff, and he has to buy post stamps, and he stutters a lot and stuff. Yeah, because he's a crazy guy.
Yeah. So now Bat and Buddy and Darling, which is their code names, they all do one job. They go and collect some. They all go and collect some weaponry, I guess.
I think
and then
so.
Bat starts to shoot everyone.
Yeah, because he reads a sign on the
shit.
weapons, and it says Atlanta Police Department. So he thinks, and obviously it's set in Atlanta, so he thinks that it's like a setup or whatever. So he starts shooting everyone, and Baby goes crazy. And then on the way home from the collection, the Bats forces them to stop off at the diner where Deborah works. And before this, him and Deborah are pretty much together as a couple, because they kissed after their first date and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then he gets really nervous, and he tells Deborah that he wants to, because when they first meet, Deborah says, "Oh, I just want to go on a road trip, just me, my music, and the road." And he just tells her that they're going to go on a road trip at 2 a.m. because he just wants to get out of there. Because all he really has is Deborah, and Joe, and the rest are just, because both his parents die, which is revealed.
Oh yeah, and that's why
halfway through in an accident. Yeah.
So then they have to. Why do they have to have a sleepover?
Yeah, because it's he says it's an early start, so he's staying here.
Then Bats. Oh yeah, and then
Baby tries to sneak away.
Because he's like, Deborah, we leave at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And then he tries to sneak away, but Bats finds him, and then he finds he's been recording stuff.
So
but we all know that he's been making. We all know he's been making songs like Wizzy Slow, but they think he's a cop and he's recording the conversations. So they go to his apartment. They take Joe out the wheelchair, which is just such a sad moment, and they bring all the tapes. And then in a quite amusing scene where they have to play Wizzy Slow in front of everyone because they all think he's an undercover cop.
Yeah. And then for some reason the code name for a done deal is bananas. So they'd call up Kevin Spacey and say, "This has been just say bananas," and they'll know the deal's done. But I don't get what that means. Maybe
it's just a code name. The deal's done, the deal wasn't successful, but he didn't hear bananas.
Yeah, because they murder them. Yeah, and then what happens? Oh yeah, he he has to do. He just does the heist.
Yeah, they do the heist. They go
in.
They take the money, but then this is, by the way, we should probably mention at the beginning, and this is a spoiler review. Although the film's 2 years old.
Every review is a spoiler review. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true. Then Bat gets killed pretty much because he's like, drive, and then Baby drives into a pole, and it freaking.
And there's a lot of tension in the scene because you just get, it's quite an annoying scene to watch. Which is obviously what Edgar Wright wanted, because the music's all like the opera music. It's not. Is it opera? It's like old time music, and it's raining outside. You can just hear What the, what's the thing on it? Because I'm not a car person, you know. What's the thing that cleans away the rain on a car? The
With
wind wipers. What am I? And the water wipers, the
oh,
windscreen wipers. What am I doing?
windscreen
I've
wipers. That's
just
it.
I've
Yeah.
lost all uh speech. Yeah, the windscreen wipers are going, and it's like that. You know that it's just all gonna go. It's all gonna be messed up, and
Yeah.
so they get like the money because like they say it's like so they have to rob a post um
Office.
office because it has like these
Yeah.
people
And then
mail like these things and they can go for like a grand each.
yeah. So then baby has to run away obviously because the car's been and
Yeah,
then so
wrecked.
does
Yeah,
Buddy
and
and Darling.
he's on like a pursuit against the police, and he goes to
Yeah.
back to his apartment with Joe.
Mhm.
Um, and and he's like he has to take Joe to a retirement home and leave Joe behind. And that's very sad scene. And he
Sad
does
scene.
like a voice recording. There's a whole bit at the start where Joe has a peanut butter sandwich, which is very, and he spread it out to the sides. Um, yeah, and then then he goes back to the diner to get Lily. I mean, not Lily, Deborah to get Deborah. Um,
No, hang on. You missed a bit when
oh yeah,
Darling dies. She gets
he
shot.
murders Darling. I mean, he doesn't kill Darling.
They're
Basically,
in like a shootout with the
yeah,
cat, and then she gets killed,
the
and then
fuzz.
Buddy's like hot fuzz. Wait. And then Buddy's like, ah, I'm gonna kill you, baby, because you killed my wife. And then he becomes all creepy. But yeah,
Yeah, so like Darling kind of dies in a shootout. 'Cause she like um, and then
like
yeah, Buddy gets really angry. And before this, like Buddy's like he's like really friendly to Baby because he
mm.
knows he can do no wrong and stuff. So
Then he goes to the diner where Deborah is, and then he like sings to some Barry White, which is pretty creepy. And then the cop comes in, and then it gets all tense. And
it's just like some fat pool
generic,
pool block cop
yeah,
um eating donuts. And yeah, Buddy's there. And he's got like a gun next to him because like it's so because he says, "Oh, you took something away from me. I've got to take something away from you." So he keeps threatening to kill Deborah. Um, and then the cop comes in and then Baby shoots Buddy. I think I'm pretty sure
baby
he does.
shoots Buddy, takes Deborah. They run outside, and then they steal some punk's Lamborghini or whatever. I'm not
Yeah,
a car person either. And then they're like driving through the city. Then they end up going. They go to Kevin Spacey doc. Because they want the song
yeah.
of
Once his
her.
tapes back.
Because basically baby's mum was a singer and
Yeah,
he wants his tapes back so he can listen to it and they can then Buddy finds them and Kevin Spacey gets um run over. No, he gets run over and like flies up to the ceiling, which is pretty funny. um then there's the final sort of shootout, and that's sort of like battle between Buddy and Baby, which
yeah.
kind
They're
of
both
annoys
in
me,
cars as
but
well. Yeah.
yeah, there's and like um it kind of annoys me how Buddy just keeps like he's been like hit like 20 times with the car and he just
Yeah.
keeps standing up like I'm still here, and it's just like a bit,
Guys, I'm fine.
God, you forgot about me. Then and what happens next? Oh yeah, and then he eventually does die. He falls off a thing. Then they're like, Baby knows that he's probably gonna get caught by the police, but he wants to escape, so they try and escape. But then the cops find him, and then
Yeah.
he goes to
But
jail.
yeah. Well, the before that and the when just before Buddy dies, um, he shoots right past Baby's ears so he can make him deaf because he knows how much Baby loves his music.
Yeah,
Um, uh, yeah, and then Baby wakes up. He's like half deaf, and like listens to, and like basically there's like his tape. He has like this big suitcase full of his remixes, and one of the tapes says "Mum" on it, and we don't hear it until the end when she plays it in the car. and it's because his mum used to sing. That's why he likes music so much.
That's why
Um,
me likes on that one. And he and then she
yeah,
sings that song.
yeah, and
Then
then he
he
gets
goes to
arrested.
jail.
Yeah,
And then he goes to jail for a bit, and then there's the ending sort of bit, and I don't know if I can't sorry, I don't know if it's real or not. It could be a fantasy or it could be
yeah,
real
like a
because
dream.
it's sort of yeah
Because it starts black and white, then it turns into color as
yeah
Baby takes Deborah on a road trip,
yeah.
and that's the
So
movie.
and that is the motion picture Baby Driver,
And it was all a dream.
and yeah, it was all a dream all along, like an Avengers Endgame, and
Yeah, it was just
young
a
Tony
weird.
Stark
No,
wakes up.
it was skinny Cap's dream.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and he
it was
wakes
what
up.
skinny. No, it was what Captain America was dreaming while he was in the ice the whole time. He just dreamt
Yeah.
up the MCU, pretty
Or
much.
maybe it's when skinny Steve Rogers gets like pushed in the bin, like knocked out, and he wakes up and he's like,
Yeah.
"Aw,
Oh,
it's all a dream."
yeah.
Ow.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Joe, overall opinion of Baby Driver.
Overall opinion, I it was definitely better when I watched it the second time. I gave it like 3.5 or 4 stars when I first watched it, and then when I watched it the very recently, like the other day, I gave it 5 stars because it was very good when I watched it the second time. Like I noticed the editing more,
Yeah.
and I could just focus on the film because when you're watching it with friends, you like to uh chat to the lads. You know how it is, Felix, because you were
I
there.
know. I was there. I was there. Um, I'm a big fan of this film. I got it on DVD. I got I have the soundtrack on Spotify. I have the pop vinyl figure of Baby, which is really cool. Although you can't take out the earphones, I thought that'd be really cool. Yeah, I'm overall just a really, really, really big fan of this film and
Yeah.
Edgar Wright in general. And fun fact, he's filming his new horror film right now as we
Mm,
speak. Well, maybe not as we speak, but, you know.
yeah. There isn't a lot of comedy in this film, but I guess like some of the things that people say, like in the film, the characters don't find it funny, but like it's kind of meant to be funny in real when you're watching it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. On Netflix, it comes up in the comedy section. I don't know how reliable Netflix is because they put things in genres and they
yeah.
put really
Netflix don't know
stupid
what it.
things.
I bet it's just like robots kind of seeing it and stuff.
Yeah, bebop, bebop. Anyway, that
Yeah.
was Fishing with the Boys, episode 2, starring Felix Shaw and Joseph Flynn.
Follow us on Letterboxd. You can see all our reviews and our very
Yeah,
worthwhile
intricate.
opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or also what are we gonna do next week? We don't know what we're gonna do next
I
week,
don't know.
but hopefully tomorrow,
Hopefully it's
next
something
week we'll
good.
have guests.
Yeah, I don't.
Um,
My my motherboard is overheating from how fire this track is.
anyway, that was Fishing with the Boys. We'll see you in the next one.
Is he slow? Slow? Is he slow? Slow? Is he slow? Slow?